Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks. So we are here continuing our work on a Saturday night. Now we're at Bonds 007 to support the band out of Dallas who's about to throw down. The band is called Protest. You've heard me talk about them, and I have with me Ron and Jason of the band. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing tonight?
Man, we're doing well,
Doing awesome, man. Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely an honor, definitely an honor.
We're very happy to be out here to support your latest work, Abuse of Power. We're going to get into that in just a bit. But there's people, you know, Dallas is kind of, you know, Texas is so big, Dallas is so far away, you know, and I'm really glad that you're down here performing. But for those people tonight who will be hearing the name for the first time, can you share a little bit about the initial beginnings of Protest?
The band actually started 15 years ago next month. It's crazy. 15 years. I was in my 20s when it started. I'm in my mid 40s now.
Wow.
Obviously. And so we're still doing it. And we're just a crazy thrash band from Dallas that just wants to play some heavy Slayer influenced thrash. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's just what we do. Keep it heavy, keep it Slayer, I guess. Yeah. I mean, people say we're like Slayer, so I'm going with that. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
In my opinion. It's a huge honor.
Yeah.
So
and as we talk about, you know, your home base, you know, I've been privy to the Dallas metal scene in just very small tidbits. Talk a little bit about what's happening in Dallas right now.
Well, right now, you know, Dallas it goes through its periods. There's a lot of great killer music out of Dallas right now. We got some of our friends from War Beasts are coming back, so we're looking forward to seeing those guys back out on the scene. There's a lot of great bands out there that are up and coming, that we don't really get to see as much as we do, because Dallas scene is, like I said, it's up and down, but the bands that are out there are awesome. So right now it's kind of fluctuating right now, but hopefully, like with War Beasts coming back out, everybody's going to start kind of yielding heavy again and getting back into it, and hopefully we can get out there and get some more stuff going.
I'm so glad you mentioned War Beasts. You know, I was talking about Bruce Corbett not too long ago, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to the man tonight as we talk about Dallas heavy metal. You know, but I also think it's intriguing because, you know, Pantera's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and whenever I think about bands, heavy metal bands from either the Rio Grande Valley or San Antonio or Austin or Dallas, I always think, man, those Dallas metal bands, they have their own kind of vibe, and it's kind of like Pantera influenced vibe, where it's just very heavy, straightforward, and just really kind of brutal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Pantera obviously had the groove factor, without a doubt. And, you know, we touch on that sometimes. We keep it really, you know, brutal with a lot of speed and, you know, a lot of intensity and things like that, with some groove and some hook in there as well. That's very important. You want to have memorable songs, memorable riffs, that people are sitting at work in front of their computer going to their corporate job on Monday, going, I remember that. You want that hook.
Yeah.
And I really feel like we can do that to people.
Yeah.
I feel like if you can hum our stuff and, you know, you remember it, that's a good thing. And that's a very important thing to do as a band. You want to have that memorable sense of melody. Even you can be heavy as hell, but you want to be memorable, and that's very important, no matter what you're doing. And I really think that we capitalize on that very well.
Well, I want to thank you, Ron, for sending me the CD earlier this year. And Abuse of Power definitely is a beautiful piece of work. Officially, for all you people out there, Abuse of Power is the band's latest effort. Came out in January of 2018. Be sure to look for it after you watch this interview. Let's talk a little bit about this release, man. Pretty damn brutal. What were you guys trying to go for on Abuse of Power?
Well, we want to try, again, it kind of goes back to the hooks that we were talking about. We want to keep it hooky. We also want to kind of have some melody, but we still want to keep it brutal. Like I said, we're a thrash band, but we all have different influences. So we got, like me, I'm really big into like thrash and death metal, but I also like hardcore, like New York hardcore. So we got a little bit of that in there. Jason also, he's into more of a thrashy, more of the Metallica, more of the Testament kind of style, Fear Factory kind of style. So we kind of wanted to bring all that together and kind of just bring our influences and kind of have a unique sound. So I think with Abuse of Power, that's kind of what we were going for. We want to have the heaviness, the speed, the aggression, but yet we still want to have those melodic moments, those groove moments that make us who we are. A lot of people say that, you know, we're really fast and everything, but a lot of people also like our breakdowns. They also like our slow stuff, our more melodic stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of like the 80s part of it. There was always some melody in the 80s thrash. Now, also, I was telling you as we were hanging out that I just love the way this record sounds in my stereo, too. Talk a little bit about where you guys produced it.
Well, that's an interesting story. We went through a lot of interesting phases on this record. It was actually recorded in 2014, in the spring of 2014.
Oh, wow.
It didn't release to 4 years later. And we had just had some issues with finding engineers that were going to give us the sound we wanted. Long story short, I took over last fall without knowing Pro Tools at all and learned it in 2 months and had the record done myself.
Wow.
And put us where we needed to be as far as what I thought. And so that's, I will take the credit. I feel like I just made that happen. It just had to be done, and I really feel very proud of what we did and what I was able to kind of just put everything aside and focus on this record and make it a slammer. And that was my goal, and I think I did a pretty good job, if I must say so myself. And yeah, it sounds like you enjoyed it as well.
Sounds fabulous.
Thank you very much.
I listened to it in my truck and at home, and it sounds just fucking great, man.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So good job there, Jason. So now the record's been out for almost a year now. What do you feel has kind of been the reception to it regionally in Dallas, and it's kind of as you spread your feelers out across the state?
I think well, some of the reviews we've been getting back is exactly what we thought we were getting. It's thrashy. It's got a little bit of everything for every person that's in the metal. You've got your blast beats for your death metal, for your kind of black metal stuff, but you also got your thrash for your thrashers, and you got your breakdowns and stuff like that for the hardcore kids, which is all of our influences, which is what we wanted. So we think that it's being received differently by different folks. We got people that are more into the thrasher stuff. They're like, yeah, I like the thrasher stuff, not so much into the blast and all that stuff. And then on the opposite side, we got guys like, dude, I love when they do the blast fast stuff. Not so much into the thrash. And you got the hardcore kids. They've got a kind of a hardcore breakdown. So for us, it's kind of like, wow, we're getting the reviews across the spectrum, which is exactly the way the record is. It's across the spectrum. So.
Were there ever any efforts from the band to kind of send this out to any industry people or kind of see if there was any interest in getting like a sign or getting signed to a label or any distribution, things like that?
On this record, it's, I would say, probably not as much as previous efforts. On the last record we did, it was called The Corruption Code. We sent that to a lot of people and we had some interest. And a lot of people really wanted to see us on the road a lot more than we, could do at the time, which is very hard to do when you're older and established and have your careers. But this one, people who are receiving it are been very complimentary on what we've done, and it's always been very positive, and it's a good thing. I consider ourselves almost like the Faith No More of a metal band. Yeah. People of all different styles of rock, metal, they can relate to everything we're doing at some part. Some people, like Ronnie said, they like more of the melodic, slower stuff or the heavier blast stuff or whatever. We have something for everybody on what we do, and that's kind of what we do, but it just naturally comes out that way because we're influenced by the whole spectrum of rock and metal, from classic rock to the blackest death metal you've ever heard, so it just works,
I think you bring up a really great point in the fact that, not only production-wise can you do DIY, but even now, kind of getting your music out to the masses, you can do DIY.
Yeah, I mean, if you get on, use your digital distro out there and get on Spotify, for example, but you can market yourself and be available, people will find you, and that's what's been happening. We've been getting, people, buy digital copies of the record, pretty regularly, and it's just I'm like, how'd they find out about us? But how did they find out about us? I would like to find out more about that, but it's working.
Do you guys have physical copies?
We do, actually. Okay. They're upstairs for sale right now.
Okay. I want one.
All right, you're gonna get it.
Okay. Gentlemen, you're here in San Antonio. Obviously, not a small track for you guys. What have you guys done this past year in support as far as live playing, or what did you guys kind of envision yourself as far as what you wanted to do live in support of this record?
I think we're just trying to get it out there right now. We're trying to play more shows when we can. Trying to get that more established out there, get out more. We're trying to get out more regionally, trying to get on some, we're really trying to get on some festivals that we can play. We know that there's a lot of festivals right here in the area, a lot of in the valley, a lot of thrash, so we're just trying to get out there so people know who we are, so we can kind of get out there and get our music exposed. We got a lot of friends in the business as far as professionally and locally, so we're just hoping we can get out there and get our stuff out there, get it get heard more, get on some more festivals, more kids to hear us. I think people will like our show.
Yeah, look for the Memorial Day Metal Fest next year. My buddy Matt Lauterbach puts that together, so hopefully you guys can come back. And definitely
you, Rob, you gotta get it, gotta make it happen.
And this guy.
Use me as a reference. Tell these people to contact me. Great. So as we kind of end out the year now, we're already kind of getting in near Thanksgiving soon enough. What do you guys want to do for 2019?
I would like to, like Ronnie was saying, it'd be awesome to do a festival type circuit where we could do a less is more kind of approach. Hit the road less, maybe, but play to more people and these more
quality, yeah.
Exactly. And I'd like more of an impactful kind of experience. That's what we would like to do.
Have you been doing any writing for anything for a follow-up?
We've been talking about that recently. I've got some ideas, Ronnie has some ideas, and we've been kind of toying around with, trying to write and do some more new stuff, but we have this record that we feel like we haven't truly promoted enough.
Sure.
So that'd probably go maybe to the middle of 2019, then maybe we can look at maybe doing maybe an EP or something like that. That'd be kind of cool to do.
I think that's a very wise decision. This record, if you do not feel you have, because of the limitations, because we're professionals, has not allowed you to really kind of massage it out as much as you'd like, definitely take your time. And this record deserves it before you move on from it. Now, I've seen some live videos of the band, but I have not seen an official video for like a track. Have I just missed it, or are there not any out there?
There's really none out there. We did a few for the Corruption Code, our previous release I mentioned before, but this one, we really haven't done that on this time.
Oh, yeah.
Which was get the record done, get out there, and we had a lineup change, and so we're trying to solidify ourselves more with that change there, and then get out there more regionally, and maybe the more the festival approach.
Yeah.
I think that might help us out a little bit better.
Yeah. I'd love to see a video from you guys, though. I mean, come on, we live in a social media era.
Hey, it would be cool if we could do something like that. I don't know what that looked like. You probably have to have the lights on real bright for me, but that'll be one of those. That'd be one of those. That'd be one of those. Smile. But it would be really cool, to do a video. You always envision that in a band. You're like, what does the video look like for us, And so I always envisioned us doing one of those black and white videos where everything's slow mo and or some kind of theme video with me on a camel or some shit. I don't know.
I saw a lot.
The abyss? What's going on?
Exactly. I saw a live video, and I saw you performing. And I swear to God, Ronnie, in the video you look like you're fucking 6'6". You look like really tall.
Hey, you're when you shoot up, I look skinny and big. I look good. But when you look at me flat, I'm kind of wide. No, I guess it just depends on where they shoot us. But I don't know. People that know me know what I look like. People freak out on me, Rob. They freak out on me. I don't know why. They're just like, hey, that's a black guy that plays rock and roll. That's like crazy.
And that's how it started to begin with. Rock and roll. It's my music. Your people. It's my people.
And they don't even know your background and how smart of a man you are. So, I mean, I'm blown away tonight.
No, some know the background. I get people who come up to me, hey man, you're that. I'm like, yeah, man. Dude, you play rock and roll too, and you're that? I'm like, yeah.
You're a bad dude.
I don't know about that, Rob. I think, education is still, up there for me, but I like metal too. I like to bang my head, so.
That's great. Okay, gentlemen, as we end out, anything I missed, anything you want to share with people out there around the world who will see this interview about protests or anything else?
I think protest has a lot to offer to pretty much anybody that's involved in heavy music, that likes heavy music, a fan of heavy music of any kind, rock, metal, whatever. We have something for everybody. It does not matter what your background is. If you're an open-minded individual and you want to be moved by some music that will get you, I think we're the band for you. Cool. I really do.
How about you, Ronnie?
Hey, man, I really want to say one thing. Really, for Dallas metal scene. There's a lot of great musicians in Dallas. I want to send a shout out to a band that's basically like our brother band, Chemicost, Ernie. Love you guys. Just want to let you know that we're thinking about you guys in the interview. Warbeast, good to have you guys back. We're thinking about all of our brother bands that we played with, that we enjoy. Hey, you know, we got the Skin guys out there. We got Prophecy. Hey, man, there's a lot of great bands that we got to go on the road with and do some stuff with. So we just want to send a shout out to those guys that kind of helped us out too. So
I'd love to go to Dallas and maybe, you know, do like an event out there and interview all these Dallas metal bands.
You know what? Let's do a fest with that, and you can interview all of us, and we'll do it.
Maybe we'll do like a Rob's MetalWorks Showcase in Dallas.
That would be awesome. That's what we need to do.
That's it.
That'd be a big event. You heard it right here first, right here.
Dallas metal.
It's going to happen next year. This is the man right here.
2020. Let's shoot for 2020.
We need a lot of time to prepare for this. This is a big event.
We have a new president in 2020.
Remember, everyone out there, how can you forget? The band from Dallas is called Protest. Go look for the latest. It's called Abuse of Power. You saw the band only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.
I say no.